alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you, my dear students? Today, our lesson is about past passive. So, give me your attention, please. Let's start. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to: number 1, identify past passive verbs or forms. Number 2, change sentences from active to passive voice correctly. So, let's start. In this lesson, we are going to answer the following questions. Question number 1, when do we use past passive? Number 2, why do we use past passive? Number 3, what are the steps to change an active sentence into passive? Number 4, how to form a negative past passive sentence? And number 5, what is the agent? So, let's start with the first question, please. The first question, when do we use past passive? We have many different cases to use past passive. Let's start with the first one. Case number 1, if we don't know who did the action. Okay, an example. The window was broken. The question here, who broke it? We don't know. So, we use passive. Number 2, if we don't care who did the action. For example, my house was built in 1999. Okay, the question here, does it make any difference to you to know who built this? No, it doesn't make any difference for us to know. Number 3, if you don't want to blame someone. An example, the dishes were not done yesterday. Okay, you don't want to blame your sister or brother or father or mother, so you just use passive. Number 4, if the agent is obvious to the listener and the speaker. For example, if we are talking together about an earthquake, for example, we will say the houses were destroyed, and we will all know that it was destroyed by the earthquake. Okay? Number 5, if we need to be more polite with people. For example, a mistake was made. So you are trying to pay their attention that someone made a mistake, but you want to be polite. Okay? Question number 2, why do we use past passive? What are the reasons for? Number 1, to express an action that happened once or repeatedly in the past. Let's see an example. I was always invited to my sister's birthday party. This action happened repeatedly in the past, more than one time. The second example, America was discovered by Christopher Columbus. This action happened once. Okay? Number 2, to talk about particular event in history. I have an example here. Yasser Arafat was elected president of the PLO in 1969. This event is very important to all Palestinians all over the world. Number 3, to talk about crimes or accidents. Example, 2 people were killed in a car accident. Number 2, thousands of people were injured when Beirut port collapsed. Okay, let's continue. Then, this is the most important thing here. We are going to talk now about the steps to change an active sentence to passive. So, give me your attention. I have an example here, and we will go through the steps one by one. Let's start. Step number 1 is to identify the subject, the verb, and the object. Okay, we will do it together now. Let's see the example. She wrote a book. Concentrate with this. She is the subject. Wrote is the verb. A book is the object. So this is the step number 1. I identify the subject, the verb, and the object. Step number 2. I will move the object in the active sentence to be the subject in the passive sentence. Where's the object? Yes, I can hear you. The object is a book, so I will bring a book. Number 3, I will identify the verb tense. The verb here in the sentence is wrote. What tense is this? It is past simple tense. Okay, Number 4, I will add the auxiliary be verb. According to be verb, since I have a verb in the past, I will use either was or were. I will use was with singular nouns. Like what? Yes, I can hear you. Like she, like he, like it. Also, I will use were for plural nouns. I with was. Okay? So, now I will have the object, which is a book. I will ask myself, is it singular or plural? It is singular. So, I will use was. And the last step here, that I will add the past participle of the verb. What is the verb here? Wrote. If I ask myself, what is the past participle of wrote? The past participle of wrote is written. So now I have the sentence in the passive. Let's read it. A book was written. A book was written. So, to summarize, I have a rule to follow. What is the rule to change an active sentence to passive? Easily, I will start with an object, then I will use was or were plus verb past participle or verb 3. Okay? I have many examples here. We will work together to change them into passive. So let's start. Example number 1. I will start with the active sentence, then we will change it to the passive. Example number 1. The children ate the cake. I will start with identify the subject, the verb, and the object. The subject here is the children. Ate is the verb. The cake is the object. So then I will move the object. So the cake. And then I will ask myself, the cake, is it singular or plural? Yes, it is singular. So I will use was or were. Yes, I will use was. So to change this into passive, it will be the cake was eaten. Eaten is verb 3 of the given verb ate. Okay? Example number 2. They built the houses in 1883. Where's the subject? It's they. Where's the verb? It's built. And where's the object? It's houses. Okay, I will move the object. It's the houses. And then, is it singular or plural? Yes, it's a plural. So I will use were. So the sentence will be, the houses were built in 1883. Example number 3. The doctors saved many people's lives. I will start with the object. Many people's lives were saved. Remember, in the active sentence, the subject of the sentence did the action. For example, the boy broke the window. He did the action. I have another example here. Omar painted the house last week. But in the passive sentence, he did not did the action. He received the action. For how I can change this sentence into passive, I will say the house was painted by Omar. Omar received the action here. He didn't do it. Okay? So, let's continue. Now, I have another question. How to form negative past passive sentence? It's easy to form this negative. Easily, to form the negative, I will use the auxiliary wasn't for singular nouns. And I will use weren't or were not for the plural nouns. Then, of course, I will follow it with verb 3 or verb past participle of the verb. So, the rule here is I will start with the object, then wasn't or weren't plus verb past participle. I have many examples here. We have examples here. Please pay attention. Example number 1, those examples are in the active and we will change it in the passive. Concentrate. Number 1, I didn't invite Maha to the party. To change it to the passive, of course, I will start with the object. So it will be Maha wasn't invited to the party. Number 2, our team didn't win the match. The passive sentence will be the match wasn't won. Concentrate that won is verb 3 of win by our team. Number 3, Ahmed didn't eat the apples. And the passive, it will be the apples were not eaten. Okay? Number 4, Rana didn't clean her room. In the passive, the room wasn't clean. I want to pay your attention to something here. If you have an active sentence that starts with nobody or no one, you will know that your passive sentence will be negative. So you will use wasn't or were not. Let's see the example. I have an example here. No one turned on the light. I don't have not here, but I have no one. No one tells me that I should change it to negative passive voice. Let's see the passive. The light was not turned on. So don't forget this. Let's continue, please. Here we will talk about the agent. What is the agent? When you change an active sentence into passive, you will move the object in the active sentence to be the subject in the passive sentence. So, this subject in the active sentence will be the agent in the passive sentence with the preposition by. I will use the preposition by, or I may drop it if it is not important, if it is not giving me any extra information about it. I have example here. Riham sang a song. This is the subject, the verb, and the object. To change it to passive, I will start with the object. So, a song was sung by Riham. Riham here is the agent. It was the subject in the active sentence. In the passive sentence, it is the agent. Example number 2, they sang a song. To change it to passive, I will say a song was sung. I didn't say by them, I just dropped it because it's not important. Also, I want to tell you that if the object is a pronoun, we have to follow the following table to write the agent. Those are the subject pronouns and those are the object forms of them. If you have I, you will use it, you will change it to me. If you have you, it will stay you, but it's an object form. If you have he, it will be him. If you have she, it will be her. If you have we, it will be us. If you have it, it will be it. If you have you, for plural, it will stay you. And if you have they, you will change it to be them. Are you done? Now you have a task to do. Please read the questions carefully, then do the following questions. Question number 1. Choose the correct answer. 1. A friend gave me this sweater. This sweater is given or was gave or was given to me by a friend. Number 2. The teacher chose her to receive the award. She was chosen or was chose or were chosen by the teacher to receive the award. Number 3, a knock at the door woke us all up. So, the passive, we was all woke up or we're all woken up or we're all waked up by a knock at the door. Number 4, over 300,000 students took the college entrance exam. To change it to passive, it will be the college entrance exam was taken or was took or was taken by over 300,000 students. This is question number 1. According to the second question, you have to rewrite the following active sentences as passive ones. Number 1, someone stole the money. Number 2, they ate the cookies. Number 3, my father drank the coffee. Number 4, the wildfire burned down for 20 hours. And number 5, they hold the party on August 9th. Okay, before doing this question, please go through the steps that we talked about to change those sentences into passive. Also remember, failure is not an option here. So if you have any problem while you are doing these exercises, please go through the video again and again until you do it in a correct way. This is all for today. See you soon.